Have you ever stopped to think why some popes lived so long, even in times when life expectancy was much lower than it is today? Pope Leo XIII, for example, lived to be 93 years old, something extraordinary for the 19th century, and he was not an isolated case. Several leaders of the Catholic Church reached advanced ages with lucidity and vitality, even while carrying the weight of a life of intense commitments and demanding decisions. But what was the secret behind this remarkable longevity? Was there's something special in his routine, his faith, or perhaps his diet? In this video, you'll discover the 5 most common foods in the traditional diet of the popes. Simple, affordable, and deeply nutritious choices that continue to be recommended today by doctors and longevity experts. We're not talking about fad diets or miracle cures. We're talking about ancient wisdom, practiced consistently, without exaggeration. These foods not only help the popes live longer, but also help them maintain mental clarity, energy, and physical balance for decades. And the best part is that you can easily start including them in your daily diet. Before continuing, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. This ensures that you receive more content like this, with practical health and well-being tips to live a better quality of life. Now that you understand the context and promise of this video, let's start with the basis of almost every meal in the Vatican, the so-called liquid gold of longevity: olive oil, the Vatican's liquid gold. When it comes to longevity and healthy eating, few ingredients have as revered a history as olive oil. Called by many liquid gold, it was, and continues to be, one of the pillars of the Mediterranean diet, a dietary pattern that has profoundly influenced the tables of popes over the centuries. In the Vatican, olive oil is more than just a seasoning. It is part of a tradition that values purity, moderation, and the natural flavor of food, present in simple meals such as cooked vegetables, rustic breads, or fresh salads. A few drops of olive oil finish off dishes with a touch of flavor and health. But why is this ingredient so powerful? Modern science confirms what ancient practice already knew. Extra virgin olive oil is rich in antioxidants, especially the so-called polyphenols, in addition to containing monounsaturated fats, the famous good fats, which help reduce bad cholesterol and protect the heart. Studies show that regular consumption of olive oil is associated with a reduction in cardiovascular diseases, chronic inflammation, and even cognitive decline. And that's not all. Olive oil also promotes intestinal health, improves nutrient absorption, and contributes to hormonal balance, all of which are essential for healthy aging. It's as if with each spoonful of olive oil, the body receives a natural boost against the ravages of time. Including this food in your daily diet doesn't require drastic changes. You can use it to season salads, finish cooked vegetables, or even accompany whole wheat bread for breakfast. The tip is to choose extra virgin olive oils from a good source. Avoid frying them and maintain moderation. 1 to 2 spoons a day is enough. This is perhaps one of the greatest secrets hidden in plain sight. Simple, accessible, and transformative. And if olive oil is the symbol of liquid vitality, the food we are going to explore next represents the solid foundation of the papal diet, a sacred item loaded with meaning and nutrition: whole grain bread, the symbolism of the sacred and the simple. If olive oil was the liquid soul of papal meals, bread occupied the place of foundation. More than a food, it carried with it a profound symbolic value. In almost all Christian traditions, bread represents sustenance, communion, and humility. And in the Pope's routine, this translated into simple choices made with attention to quality and balance. But here's an important detail: we're not talking about the ultra-processed, white, nutrient-poor bread that dominates the shelves today. In the papal diet, the most common bread was wholemeal bread, made with less refined flours, richer in fiber, vitamins, and minerals. This type of bread is digested more slowly, helps stabilize blood sugar levels, and promotes long-lasting satiety. This means fewer hunger pangs and greater control over your appetite, something essential in a diet that values moderation. Furthermore, regular consumption of whole grains is associated with a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and even certain types of cancer. For those seeking quality longevity, it is a valuable ally, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Choosing a good whole wheat bread, with few ingredients and no artificial additives, is already a great start. You can combine it with olive oil, natural spreads, or even fresh herbs, as we'll see later. By the way, if you found this content useful so far, please leave a like. This helps us bring quality information to more people who want to live well and for longer. Now that we know this essential food, it's time to move on to the next piece of this ancient wisdom diet. A noble, light source of protein that is full of benefits for the heart and brain. Fish, the protein of simplicity and longevity. While bread and olive oil formed the basis of the Pope's daily diet, it was fish that often played the central role as a protein in many meals, especially during times of fasting, when red meat was avoided. This choice was not only a matter of religious tradition, but also of nutritional wisdom. Fish, especially cold water fish like sardines, salmon, mackerel, and anchovies, are rich sources of omega-3, a type of essential fat that the human body cannot produce on its own. These fatty acids help protect the heart, reduce inflammation, and keep the brain sharp as we age. And in a world where cardiovascular and neurodegenerative diseases are so common, this detail makes all the difference. In practice, the popes consumed fish in a simple way: grilled, boiled, or even preserved, accompanied by vegetables, olive oil, and fresh herbs. A light but complete meal. And the most interesting thing is that many of the benefits associated with fish are supported by modern scientific studies. Populations that consume fish regularly have lower rates of heart disease, depression, and cognitive decline. Another advantage of fish is that it is easier to digest compared to red meat, which promotes intestinal health and energy throughout the day. Two fundamental factors for those looking to age with vitality. Even today, including fish in your diet doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. Canned sardines, for example, are an affordable, nutritious, and practical option, rich in calcium and omega-3. The secret is in frequency and quality, not sophistication. We are making good progress on this journey through the Pope's diet, but we still have a lot to discover. The next food is small in size, but immense in benefits. Present in moments of pause and contemplation, it can be your new ally for a long and balanced life. Dried fruits and nuts, little nutritional treasures. After balanced meals of bread, olive oil, and fish, it was common for popes to end their meal with something lighter and more natural. A modest portion of dried fruit and nuts. Dates, dried figs, walnuts, and almonds were frequent choices, not only for their flavor, but for the concentrated nutritional value that these small foods offer. These items, often underestimated in modern day life, are true energy and longevity boosters. Dried fruits provide fiber, antioxidants, and minerals such as potassium and magnesium. Nuts are rich in healthy fats, vegetable proteins, and bioactive compounds that help reduce bad cholesterol, improve brain function, and protect the cardiovascular system. They are also practical foods. They can be carried in bags, stored for long periods of time, and consumed at any time of the day, whether as a snack between meals or as a complement to salads, yogurts, and even savory dishes. But be careful, although these foods are healthy, they are dense in calories. Therefore, moderation is essential. A small portion a day, about a handful, is enough to reap the benefits without overdoing it. It's interesting to see how such simple choices, made consciously, can have such profound effects on health. So, I want to know from you, which of these fruits or nuts do you like the most or already consume in your daily life? Comment below. Maybe others will be inspired by your answer. And speaking of inspiration, our next chapter brings a special element of the papal diet that goes beyond nutrition. We're talking about herbs and infusions, symbols of calm, focus, and ancient wisdom. Herbs and infusions, ancient wisdom in every sip. If there is something that accompanied the popes, not only at the table, but also in moments of reflection, rest, and spirituality, it was herbs. Used both as seasoning and in infusions, these medicinal plants were part of an ancient tradition that valued the care of the body and mind in an integrated way. Chamomile, mint, rosemary, sage, fennel. Each of these herbs has unique properties. Chamomile calms and helps with sleep. Mint improves digestion and refreshes. Rosemary stimulates memory and focus. Together, they form an accessible, gentle, and effective natural pharmacy, and something that perfectly suited the reserved, contemplative, and disciplined lifestyle of the popes. In addition to the flavor, the ritual of preparing an infusion has something special: boiling the water, choosing the herb, waiting for the infusion time. All of this invites pause, silence, and presence. And this in itself already contributes to mental and emotional health, fundamental elements for those seeking a long and quality life. Today, amid the fast pace of modern life, getting back into the habit of drinking herbal teas is almost an act of resistance, a reminder that taking care of your health doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes a simple tea at night can completely change the way you sleep, digest, and even how you feel. If this information has been useful to you so far, please leave a like. This helps us to continue bringing you content that really makes a difference in your routine and your health. We are nearing the end of our journey, but before we wrap up, we need to put all these pieces together and understand the real secret behind the Pope's longevity. And the answer, as you will see, is even simpler than it seems. After exploring the foods that were part of the routine of so many long-lived popes, a powerful lesson becomes clear. It is not complexity that prolongs life, but simplicity well practiced. Olive oil, wholemeal bread, fish, dried fruits, herbs, and herbal teas. None of these items are exotic, expensive, or hard to find. On the contrary, they are all within reach of anyone who wants to take care of their health with awareness and consistency. The real secret lies in the way these foods are combined, valued, and above all, respected in their naturalness. The popes did not eat on impulse or in excess. Their meals were simple, balanced, and made with purpose. They had a respectful relationship with their bodies, food, and time. And this, combined with a stable spiritual routine, moments of silence, and a more centered pace of life, formed a solid foundation for healthy aging. You don't have to follow a papal diet to live well, but you can learn from it. Small changes in your daily routine, like swapping oil for olive oil, white bread for whole grain bread, or processed snacks for dried fruit, can transform your future. And if you want to continue receiving content like this, with practical tips on health, nutrition, and longevity, subscribe to the channel right now. It's free, quick, and you'll also help this message reach more people who are looking for quality of life. After all, living longer shouldn't be a privilege. It should be a choice. And that choice starts with what we put on our plates every day.